Over the last couple of years, this is the last year of the action plan. So we are very keen to see work progressing. We've done a lot of work in the first year about thinking about how we would set things up. The second year was largely about making the commitments and starting to take the structures forward. And it feels like only in the third year are we really beginning to see some of the services we want to see hitting the ground and being built up. We are confident that this work needs to continue. There's a major issue in Ayrshire, as there is in the rest of Scotland.
Mainliners is a charity that cares for people with bloodborne viruses. The Hepatitis C Resource Centre is a project of Mainliners. Our aim is to go into areas around Scotland where hepatitis C is most prevalent and just try and raise awareness so that more people will go forward for testing and, more importantly, more people will go in for treatment and, crucially, actually stay on treatment. So, how can the voluntary sector help? Well, you can help to raise awareness in the communities you serve by really just spreading the prevention message. Encourage people who may have been at risk to go forward for a test. So if you know somebody that maybe even dabbled in drugs when they were young, maybe it would be a good idea to go along and see if they're carrying the virus at all. And considering the support needs of individuals and families, and advising, of course, on liver-friendly lifestyles, being able to advise people to just lead healthier lives, like less alcohol, and maybe give some dietary advice.
The biggest aspect of our kind of job is education, giving information and advice to people on bloodborne viruses. And the purpose of that is to prevent the spread of infection and test individuals to enable them to either engage in treatment or monitor their condition.
We discuss the patient's understanding of the reasons why they're being tested for hepatitis C or any other bloodborne virus, so we get to know exactly what they know, because there is a lot of myths out there.
We also provide care and support for people with bloodborne viruses, whether that be prior to testing, while they're waiting on the results, or whether they're actually in treatment.
So when people come in with vague symptoms or they've got raised liver enzymes, we're trying to get across to the GPs to think, well, that could be Hep C and it doesn't do any harm to do a test.
It's probably for most people that start injecting, it's maybe 2, 3, 4 years down the line when things start being really badly for them. They think, oh, this is out of hand, I'll go and see a specialist drug service. But within that 2, 3, 4 year period, they've exposed themselves to all sorts of risks, probably exposed themselves to hepatitis C. So in a sense, getting that information from drug services, they've almost missed the boat. So that's why it's very important that we try to get information out to sort of younger people with regards to hepatitis C. How do we engage with people? Because it's very difficult. There's a lot of challenges around engaging with drug users. There's a lot of challenges around engaging with young people that are maybe involved in drug use. If you're a young person going to services, there's a lot of stigma around drug use. There's a lot of fear. People don't want to go to services in case they're identified. So people very often are drawn to learning about their injection process from their peers. And what we maybe learn is to learn all the wrong stuff. So we really need to try and engage with the people that are at risk. We need to raise awareness of hepatitis C across the general population. We need to raise awareness of hepatitis C, and that's happening within the Hepatitis C Action Plan that Pat spoke about at the very beginning of the day.
I've been in post for 2 and a bit months. I think this is week 9 of my post. I've been seconded from a drug and alcohol counselling project based in Fife. And one of the main briefs of the post is to set up sustainable peer education / peer support groups for people that are positive to hepatitis C or at risk. So it's really quite a broad open door of people. We're really keen to be engaging with people that haven't had a drug history as well, to try and get a good balance within the group. Big problem in Fife, busy needle exchanges, rural environment, probably quite similar to Ayrshire in a lot of respects. In Fife there's historically issues around testing, issues around treatment, support and prevention. So we've managed at this stage, a couple of months in, to set up 4 support groups that are meeting every week. One in Dunfermline, which is the Westfield Community Drug Team, one at Northwest YM, one at Kirkcaldy, and one in Methil. Just somewhere to come, to be yourself, not to be judged, to talk about hepatitis C in a way that no one needs to be ashamed, there's nothing to be ashamed about. So the personal development aspect of the peer educator role is really, really important. This is an opportunity for people to build on their stability, to build on their progress, to hopefully gain experience and some training.
I've learned to live with Hep C, but I'm telling you, it's not easy. The real thing about the Hep C too is I was diagnosed 12 years ago. It was like a head wreck getting told that you've got Hep C. I had I passed the drugs. I was kind of caught up in addiction for 28 years of my life. I'm 6 years clean now. It's a hard thing to, because you've got this thing, and you do feel like, when I first got it, I thought, how do I tell my son, how do I tell my daughter, how do I tell my mum? That thing wrecked me the most. 5 weeks into treatment, I had to stop the treatment. It was just, I felt it's horrible. It's a commitment to doing the treatment, so you have to kind of plan ahead so that everything kind of runs smoothly till you start your treatment and that, and through your treatment. But I found it hard going, and I would like to see more kind of support through the treatment. I'm very grateful for meeting this guy a couple of months ago, and I'm just glad that we've got this group up and running and people are benefiting. They're putting a bit in, they're getting a bit out, there's a bit of honesty, there's a bit of unity. Things that's happening in Fife, and I'm really glad with the support and that. It's a bit of a roller coaster ride, but at least there's a goal to go for, getting through the treatment. Life's on the up, but it's no easy going.
Are there outward signs of hepatitis C on the skin? Which means, can I look at someone and figure out if they've got hepatitis C? And the answer is no. The only way you can tell if you have Hep C is have a blood test. Any primary immunisation, there's no immunisation for hepatitis C. This is where it becomes confusing. There's immunisation for hepatitis B. And often, when people are using drugs, they will be immunised against hepatitis B.
They think that they have been immunised against Hep C. And it's important to say that there isn't any immunisation against it. It's been Hep B, but they think it's Hep C.
How do you overcome the fear of telling others? Really, that's what stigma is. Stigma is how you feel other people feel about you. It's a huge issue. It's just an illness. It's a virus. Yeah, it's a dangerous virus, but it's just one of many dangerous viruses. And there is a cure for it. And the treatment's getting better. It's normal. The routes to infection society might not approve of, but when people get around to addressing this, they're usually light years away from where they've been.